The Ministry of Gender and Social Protection was created to deal with issues like this. But where is the outrage since this story broke? Why is the Gender Ministry loudly silent? Why has the police remained quiet? We can identify the men who were harming the woman, but our state institutions are sleeping on the job. The ministry that is supposed to protect the vulnerable is so orphaned in these times that it needs protection. It is sad that the president, a self-acclaimed human rights campaigner, has allowed the Gender Ministry to become this dormant. I'm laying the blame squarely at his feet because he was the one who appointed the gender minister, who's been on leave for God knows how long. The president also appointed Cecilia Dapar as caretaker minister following Adwoa Safo's long leave of absence, from which she has still not returned. Cecilia Dapar has a lot on her plate because the sanitation ministry is also not an easy ministry to manage. There are blatant abuses that should set the ministry working, yet we are greeted with eerie, deafening silence. Now also, this week, we heard that since November 2021, the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, or the LEAP allowances, have not been paid to the beneficiaries, vulnerable people who need money to survive.
2019, up till now, we have noticed that the payments have been delaying. There are times that it delays for like more than 2 months, and already they are supposed to be receiving this support every 2 months, that is bi-monthly. And so it means that when a particular payment cycle delays, it means that the beneficiaries end up getting their support in like 4 months. And what is the amount involved? We are talking about just a 64 Ghana cedi for a beneficiary, a household that has just one beneficiary, a household. So we are saying that we are now agree that in the face of these economic hardships.
Well, the Finance Ministry has not released funds. If the Gender Ministry was active, lobbying would have taken place and the vulnerable who need the allowance would have been paid. Is the state saying we cannot take care of the very vulnerable? November, December, January, February, March is just around the corner, and we've not released the LEAP allowances. Now, if Sarah Adwoa Safo cannot serve at the Gender Ministry and prefers to remain outside the country for reasons best known to herself, the ministry must not suffer for this. Only recently, former Chief of Staff under the Kufuor administration, Kojo Mpieni, challenged the president to sack her. Perhaps that may be the way to go and give the opportunity to someone else who is passionate enough to serve the needs of the vulnerable, like the old women branded as witches in the video you saw earlier and beaten, and the very poor looking up to government for their next meal. A nation is measured ultimately by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. How then will we be measured given how we are treating our vulnerable citizens?